All right, guys, welcome back to another amazing show that I have lined up for you guys tonight. Brother Rich will be here momentarily. For those of you guys that don't know who Brother Rich is, he is a legend in the Black conscious community. You know, just in consciousness and spirituality, period. Okay, he has interviewed some of the top people. The stuff that you guys are a lot of people are catching up to now, like a lot of YouTubers and a lot of the content that they are using. um he's interviewed these people, so I'm gonna tell you some of the people that he's interviewed, and this is just hey, Brother Rich. So Brother Rich is here. Welcome, Brother Rich. How's it going today? How you doing?
I'm doing magnificent actually. So I'm doing good. I'm doing good to be on
Always.
here. Good to be on here with you.
I listen, I can't believe this, that I'm actually that you're here. I cannot believe that at all. But this is how manifestation works. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get into it because not in a I never even put this thought in my mind, that this would happen, but here it is. I guess just lining up, doing all the right things. So basically I was just giving a brief introduction to the audience of who you are, and I was basically saying that you are a legend in the Black conscious community and just in spirituality consciousness period, as far as disseminating out this information. A lot of the people that's came later in the 2000s, in the middle 2000s, and we saw like a consciousness like burst on the scene with a lot of YouTubers, and all of that. And a lot of that information that they were pulling from, they don't even know where the sources were, right? But some of the people that you interviewed was people like Dick Gregory, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Sabi. I've seen you interview Dame Dash recently. Over the last 2 years, Billy Carson, Aline Bay, Professor Griff, Brother Panic, and so much more, right? So before you even went on YouTube, you used to be on Blog Talk. So, that's where you started, and then you went over to YouTube. So what I want to get started with asking you today is how did this pathway open up for you? Like, how did you get into consciousness, and then how did you get into becoming like an interviewer? I'm interviewing the interviewer today.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Well, it's good to be interviewed. I've seen you around for so long. I don't know you like that. But when social media came around, I remember, what was it? I just used to see you on one of these. Was it? I don't know what platform it was on. I don't know if it was Facebook or if it was something before
It
Facebook.
was Facebook.
It was okay. It was
Yeah.
Facebook, and you just always posted good stuff, and I'm just like, damn, this sister named Lisa, she on it. So it's just good to know, and this is before I answer your question. It's good to know that you've made it through the test of time, because what happens is a lot of people. This is just this consciousness thing is just a short phase in their life. And they may last 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, the most. A lot of people, and then after that they just go on. You don't hear about them or hear from them again. So it's just good to know that you're still on it and you're still doing it big on Clubhouse. So I just want to start out by commending you with that before we even get started. But in terms of your question and how I got started, I have to, give all praises due to my mother. It starts like that. It starts in the womb. And since a young child, my mother, she was a Christian woman, but she always listened to Farrakhan. She had a very militant stance, and she was very pro-black. And she always taught me and my sister the beauty of being black. I remember her always making my sister have black Barbie dolls, and I had black figures as well, like a doll. Like there was this doll called I think it was my brother, because it was like kid sister for the girls, and then there was like my buddy. Okay, yeah, my buddy.
My buddy,
So
yep.
yeah, my buddy. So this may seem simple what I'm saying, but we don't understand that from 0 to 7, our minds is completely in hypnosis mode, theta mode. So whatever our parents or whoever's watching over us, even if it's a television, is feeding to us, this programming will last for a lifetime. So when I tell you it started then it makes complete sense. Oh, this is when Brother Rich got hypnotized. This is when Brother Rich got programmed. I got programmed by the time I was 7. So now that I'm way older, that programming is still with me. I accept that program and I appreciate that program, and I understand that that program is part of my mission. So she taught me about Farrakhan. I would watch the videos at a young age. She always taught us about God, even if it was from a Christian perspective, and that just stayed with me when I was older. But when I got older, I had questions that couldn't be answered by the Christian church, and I was just strolling on public access one day in New York City, and I seen a video by his name right now is Brother Kaba, but at that time he was called Booker T Coleman. I think, yeah, Booker T.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Booker T. Coleman, and he was talking about the Moors, and the information he was talking about just blew my mind. I was like, "Wow, this is the deepest stuff I ever heard in my life." I was completely blown away. And at the end of the show, rest in peace to Sister Bird, because that's who programming was on public access. But at the end of the show, there was a number to a New York vendor, street vendor named Brother Big Man. So I called that number, and Brother Big Man told me, "Yeah, I'm on 125th." So I went to 125th, and I just started getting video VHS tapes from him because it was VHS at the time, and I got everything he had from Booker T. Coleman, and eventually I just started progressing, and I noticed one day I wanted to know about this guy named Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine, and I bought the videotape. He told me, this is a little heavier, and when I got home, I said this before at a Bobby lecture. I thought Phil Valentine like worshiped the devil and stuff. Like it scared me. But you know how you scared, but sometimes your soul, you got this. I always have something inside that just keeps calling me towards something. So something inside was like, nah, just keep watching it, try to understand it. And people call it intuition, your higher God. There's different names for it, but mine is very, very strong. So the whatever that is, the inner guide told me just go back to it, try to understand it. And I just, I put Phil to the side and I gravitated toward Bobby first. It took me a while to get to Phil, but Bobby is really what made me get into the magic of things because his personality and his way of teaching was so welcoming for a newbie, an advanced person, an intermediate person, all levels. Like he's a master teacher for real, for real. So I really got in on the metaphysical side from Bobby, and I just kept progressing from there, and eventually I one just me being intuitive, that thing I'm talking about that's inside, I'm just like, I think I would be good at asking questions. I'm listening to all these speakers and I'm like, damn, I got all these questions. I'm like, yo, I could be good, I could do this, I could be good at asking questions. And one day Sonetta gave me an opportunity. I was like, yo, I want to ask some questions. He was like, yeah, well, I'm interviewing Arlene Bay at my house. You could come through. And Sonetta, he like, but yeah, bring a donation for Arlene. So I gave
Right.
I gave Sonetta 100. He probably gave that shit to him and said that was from him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
It don't matter though. It's all good. But Sonetta was like, yeah, just bring me a donation, nigga. You can ask any question you want. Just bring a donation. So I bought $100, and he gave me an opportunity to ask questions, and I loved that experience. And eventually I just started, I got in the business for myself with, when I by the time I got in the game with interviewing people, it was the DVD era. I was never there during the VHS era. That was more
Mhm.
Sonetta and Brother Shabazz. By the time I got in the game and I started doing my thing, it was the DVD era. And yeah, and that's
Right.
pretty much that's the beginning, yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great story. You know what I really love that you said is about your mother, right? And how that base programming, how that stayed with you your whole life, and how important that is for for all of you guys that are out there that are parents. Like I've told y'all before, each one of your chakras are programmed every 7 years. So the first seven is the root chakra, right? That's your survival, who you're going to be in the world. So a lot of trauma, what happens during that time, or something good happens in that time, that will stay with you for the rest of your life. So I'm really, really glad that well, of course, I know you are definitely aware of that. So after that, now, how did you get on to Blog Talk and start? How did you get into a position where you were able to meet all of these great people in the Black conscious community? Because like you said, you started out with Bobby. That's as far as ingesting the information. Was there a period of time that went by that you just kept studying, or were you doing these things simultaneously right from the beginning, interviewing and studying and learning?
No, I did a lot of studying first. My collection was thorough before I even interviewed Arlene Bay. I would just, and this is why I'm not very sympathetic to people in this new era who cry about. I mean, anything you charge, they're crying about in the so-called black spiritual community.
Facts,
They cry
facts.
about everything. Back then, I'm talking about. I'm 19 years old, 20 or something when I started building my collection. I sacrificed everything for this. I put everything into this. I said anything, any bit of money I got that was allocated to, let's say, clothing or whatever. Man, it was a wrap for that. All that money that was allocated to a clothing or this or that, man, that shit started going to VHS tapes. I was like, nah, I need this. I need this. So my personal life took a toll because I invested so much of my energy, which is my currency, into the information. So a lot of times there will be a time where you might, what they call in this world, you might suffer a little bit, but it's really not suffering. It's really just you going through a stage where you have to give all your energy to a certain thing. So of course there's no such thing as balance sometime, in terms of, like they say, you got to have a balanced life in terms of work and family. Something's going to get sacrificed sometime. So it's never going to be like a complete even 50-50. Sometime my queen and my child feels it, or sometime work feels the sacrifice. But you just got to make a conscious decision on what is worthy of sacrificing at that time with your currency or whatever. But yeah, everything got sent to the back for this information, and I spent a lot of years just studying. And then by the time I did my interview with Aline, with Sonetta, I was years into studying and building my VHS collection at that time. I'm talking about years, probably about 4 years in before I did that with Sonetta and Aline.
Right. Listen, I used to, when I first started listening to you, when you transitioned over to YouTube, I started listening to you on Blog Talk because I was trying to find everywhere Bobby Hemmett was talking. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
This is before I found out about him on Blog Talk as well. So I started looking to see, was he anywhere else? You know what I mean? And this is before I knew about DVDs and stuff like that. I didn't even know that even existed. You know what I mean? But I knew, just like you, I wanted to hear more. I love Bobby so much. Like, I feel like I owe him so much for, what I'm saying, just the information that he put out with all of the references, with all the perspectives. It just took me to a whole nother level. And I had been doing this for a very long time, but I didn't know that this community existed, right? And I've heard you mention this before as well, that you ran into like the David Ikes of the world, right? So you went through that process with the New Age spirituality first, or was that also happening concurrently? Because I
Yeah.
didn't know. I was studying magic, but I wasn't studying the magic that Bobby was talking about. You know what I mean? I was practicing it, but I wasn't into. I didn't know anything about these secret societies and all the things that I learned from listening to him and listening to like Dr. Delbert Blair and all these different people.
Yes. So my personal soul experience is, it happened concurrently. I was literally, you got to remember, I'm from New York. I'm from Harlem. So you got to remember, at that time, Harlem is different now. It's gentrified. It's totally different now. At that time, I'm talking about the year 2000. Harlem was bombarded with consciousness. So I know for a fact, it was confirmed my higher self, that I incarnated in the mecca of consciousness for a reason. It was for me to get this information at a particular time so I could do what I do right now. But I was bombarded with information at the age of 20. David Icke, Bobby Hemmett, Phil. I mean, everything was at the same time. It was just like what do you call that? The snow that goes down the hill. What's that? A snow? What they call that? A
Of avalanche.
avalanche. It was like an
Yeah.
avalanche. If I'm talking about anything you could imagine, Harlem in 2000, Harlem had somebody on 125th on every corner. The Nuwabians, the new Black Panthers, Sonetta, Big Man. I mean, they had as a zeal with the occult information. I mean, if you wanted to be pro black, you went to Harlem, man. You would leave it. You were leaving so much information. It was beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful back then. Beautiful.
let,
Now that I
let
can
me
look back.
tell you, you mentioned Brother Azazel. Listen, and his stuff wasn't on YouTube. You had to know someone, right? And so I knew someone. Man, I'm like, I love it was some of the wildest shit I ever seen. You know what I'm saying? Him and Sis Jade.
Oh yeah, shout out Majade.
Wow.
Shout out Majade. Shout out Majade. So
Yes, I'm like, so
one.
he would get dressed up, and but he got into character, right? Like,
Yeah. He
man,
one time he dressed like a priest. You remember the
yeah,
video when he was just he started talking about drinking menstrual
Yo, he
blood.
did
I'm
it.
like
yes,
He did
21.
it in the
Yo, I'm
chat.
yes.
like 21. This motherfucker dressed like a priest drinking menstrual blood. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, but once again, I was intrigued. I had to keep watching it. I was
Right. Your mind is blown. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah, exactly, exactly. Man, okay, so one of the things we're gonna get to questions. I'm gonna let the not yet, guys. Y'all just hold fast, and when we get a little bit down the road, let me talk, chop it up with Brother Rich for a little bit. Then I'll let y'all ask some questions to him as well. Um, but one of the things that I really like respect, everything. I love your channel, and I'm always like, yes, Virgos are amazing because I'm a Virgo. Hello, so I always rep
That's
the
what's up.
Virgos. You know what I mean? So, but I like when Dick Gregory used to be on your show, and I was still new to you, like YouTube and stuff like that, right? And he'd be going off on you. I'm like, how is he taking this?
Yeah.
And
Oh
then you
my
have
God.
multiple times with him. What was that like? And what would go through your mind when that was happening, like the first time that happened?
Uh, that's a real that was interviewing with Dick Gregory. That was definitely he gave me some great personal advice, but I knew he was a little grumpy, and I just I once again I'm so young that you just you're respecting your elders. You understand what's going on. Like I'm understanding, like, damn brother, calm down. But I understand that he's the elder, so I showed him a certain level of respect. But when I understood at that time, even at that time, I understood that, you know, being in this movement for such a long time, sometimes and not seeing change or the people not appreciating you or whatever you may feel because the movement seems so stagnant for so long that it could wear on you. So, you doing interviews and you may come off as a little arrogant or a little this or a little that, and he was a little he was tough, but I was persistent and I knew I had a job to do and I was determined to do it. And I didn't take it personal with Dick Gregory. I didn't take it personal, but I was totally aware of when Dick Gregory, he was on his shit and he was like, saying, because it wasn't just with me. He would get on there and do this with other interviewers as well. So
Right.
I'm like, he's an elder and he's whatever, whatever, and I just left it at that. You know what I'm saying? And it got to a point where I didn't call him immediately to do an interview immediately when something happened because it threw me off a little bit the way he would act sometime. But regardless, me and him, we had a great relationship, and like I said, he gave me some magnificent. Dick Rick, this let me just say this, so many side stories with all the speakers. Dick Gregory was way more metaphysical than what the world knows he was. He purposely chose a lot of, like, at that time secret societies was big, and people didn't say certain things in public, and metaphysics wasn't that big. Dick Gregory was way more metaphysical than what people know. Way more metaphysical. I mean, the brother, he was on it in terms of metaphysics. And
Right.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Let me ask you, what was your most memorable interview? You've interviewed so many people over, I don't know, maybe like a 15-year period. Which one was the most memorable for you and why?
Hands down, Phil Valentine, when I was on stage at St. Francis College. I believe it was an event King Simon did, and a lot of people didn't. This interview is not on the internet, so if you weren't there or if you're not a member of my Patreon, you didn't see the interview. But he called me one day, and he was like, "I'm used to just interviewing people, on the phone or behind the camera," and he's like, "Brother, I think you are absolutely amazing interviewer, and I want to get you out there. And besides me just lecturing, I want to end the lecture by having you do a one-on-one interview with me on stage in front of the audience." And I'm like, damn, there's gonna be like 600 people there. So I prepared well for it. and man, I went off in the interview because interviewing, I'm so you meant to do something when you're passionate about it, and I just get this feeling inside when I'm thinking about asking people questions. So my imagination is a huge part of the magic that I do. So I was in vivid imagination mode before the Phil Valentine interview, and to see it go from my mind to crystallize it in physical form and be in the way that exactly how I imagine it. It was an absolutely beautiful experience, and I love being on stage. It's funny because I'm an empath and I like being behind the scenes, but when I'm on that stage, I'm comfortable. I'm in the zone. If you ever get me on the stage, I'm in like my alter ego takes over, and I don't know who I am. I'm not brother. Like Beyonce got Sasha Fierce, and people like, oh, she.
Right,
I
right.
got there's somebody that takes over when I do interviews, especially when I'm on stage. It's not just the regular person. Like, nah, it's showtime. If I'm on stage, just like I just did an interview with this brother named Yaki Awaken, and we was on the stage, and I absolutely killed the interview because there's just something I don't know. It's something, and I didn't know it was going to be like that, but it's like that. But I just like that. So that definitely was my favorite interview.
Oh, okay, awesome. And you know what? You actually answered another one of my questions. Was basically like you always know the exact. It's magical. You know exactly what questions to ask. Like every question that I have in my head as the conversation's going on are the questions that you're always asking. And I'm like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna tell you, everybody has told me that. Every one thing that's consistent with a person's observation of my interviewing is that they say, "Yo, you asked the question that's in my head," and it's something about me. I go with the flow of things. And that's the key. That's the complete key. Because when you go with the flow of things, you tap into you tap into the quantum field, and the quantum field, it got everything in there. It got everything that you need there, like every possibility, everything that you want, everything that you don't want. It all exists in the quantum field, and there's this collective consciousness. So I guess I tap into this grid where humanity has a certain question, and if that question is powerful, that question has a lot of light around it in this quantum field. So me being, I want to ask a good question. So that's the frequency. So a good question is equivalent to a bright light in the quantum field. So we are attracted to each other. I want to ask a good question. Y'all want a good answer. So I meet that question in the quantum field because y'all done beamed it in the quantum field asking for that answer. I'm the perfect candidate. I'm the motherfucking perfect candidate. I meet that question and I bring it down to this realm and I ask the speaker. The speaker answers it, and boom, everybody's happy. And like, and on a human level, since we only understand 1% of the information field, we're like, oh shit, this motherfucker just asked what I was thinking in my head. But it's a whole process. Y'all beam that up there for me to grab it back down. When y'all beam something up there for me, because I want to ask a good question, I'm able to grab that and bring it down. So congratulate me, but also congratulate y'all because y'all beaming it up there for me to grab. So we're
Right.
all a part of this process. Whoever wants that answer is a part. This is why they say, there's no separation. You want the answer, I want the question, and the person that I'm interviewing wants to give a good answer. He wants to seem smart, she wants to seem smart. They want to break it down good. Like I said, I want the question and y'all want the answer. So we're all working on this together. We're all a team at this, you know what I'm saying? We just all got to play our part. If we know our part, we could get this done. I know my part. I just need everybody else to know their part.
Wow, I love that. And you know what? You could tell like you be in the zone. And
Yeah.
it's interestingly enough, right? You were behind the camera for so long. You know what I mean? For so long. It took a while for you to come from behind the camera and get like on the camera where, we could see you and other people as well. But that your voice, you know what I'm saying, is something that's very soothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a meditate. You could tell that you have a calm spirit. And the same way, like when you came from behind the camera, that same energy and aura was there. You always look so relaxed. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's that feel that you're talking about. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I
yeah.
be in trance. People be thinking I'm
Yeah.
sleeping. They be like, Brother Rich fell asleep again. I'm like, nah, nigga. No, I'm not asleep, nigga. I know how to listen. I'm a very, very good listener. That's why I never had a problem with women my whole life. I am a very, 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 very good listener. So I listen. So I'm listening to the speaker attentively, and I'm just in that trance, that theta mode, and everybody like, yo, he's asleep. No, I'm not asleep. This is how you listen. This is how you listen attentively, so you could have a great. I don't want to just respond to respond. I want to respond with something constructive based on what you just said. So yeah, I don't be sleeping, y'all, for those who think that. I just
Nah,
be in the zone.
you be in the zone. I can tell you be. I be connecting too. But so let me ask you this, right? Whew, what do you think like the evolution has been of spirituality? It's more widespread now versus when you first came in. Like you said, you made a lot of sacrifices. You sacrificed a lot of material things, and you poured into your books, and you took your time to really study, because that's what you came here to do. That it was very intense back then. Now, lots of information pathways have opened up, i.e., mostly like the internet. Everything is available. So, what do you think is the evolution, what it was then to what it is now? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it redefined the definition of abundance. If you really think about it, you know, information. People will say information is abundant now because it's so much information. But abundance is really about appreciation and gratitude. Gratitude is such an important word. Gratitude is probably top three most important words in our English language is lockdown language that we call the English language. We appreciated the information more back then, so we got more out of it. We have more information now, but we appreciate it less. So it's not really, it's not, it's an abundance of information, but it's not creating an abundance of an outcome that I feel. Like the outcome is less now than I feel that what it was back then. I feel as though back then people were really tapped in. It just, it just wasn't time to do to do certain things. Right now, it's the perfect time to do a lot of things, to have your own business. Like, you know how hard it was to have a business of your own. If you selling incense and oils and all that back in the year 2000, now, nigga, you caking if you got a business. You selling soaps and natural. There's such a market for this information now, but we're not tapped in like we was back then. So it's like it's like a catch 22. You just because there's abundance of information, it don't mean everybody's more spiritual. It just means that it's just flooded. And those that we call our enemy, those that we call our oppressor, they understood the science of flooding the market to dilute the message. They
That's it.
understood that they couldn't stop this wave that was coming. They understand the wave. When the wave comes, but so their thing around it is, all right, well, we can't stop it. Let's just dilute it. Let's flood it with just so much information. People aren't going to be able to distinguish truth from lies. So right now, there's so much truth out there, but it's flooded so much with lies, and it's confusing for a lot of people. And unless you still got to be a part of a group, you still got to get a workshop or something if you want to like really narrow the search. Unless you're like a thorough researcher and you're spending hours, because YouTube is just, oh my God, if you want to research something, you'll be there for hours just trying to research the simplest thing and really getting an answer.
Right. I call it, the way I feel about it, because I know, like, my sacrifices, the time, that I took, and the practices that I was willing to do to really synthesize the information, you know what I mean? And you see people pop up. Now I call it microwave spirituality, right? So they first hit us with the secret back in 2008, I believe it was. And I was all over that. You know what I mean? I was like, the law of attraction. Boom. This is before I even ran into Bobby Hemmett and the rest of the community. And I started a whole blog, and all this, like, I was vibing out with all the information. Then when I learned about the Kabbalion, once I got around to Bobby, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just remixed this. This is the real stuff right here. So everything is watered down, but you have a lot of people, running around claiming that they woke. You know what I mean? But are they really? It's like everyone, it's like a surface level type of situation. You understand what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? Doesn't that seem like I don't see a real transformation taking place, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, with that, I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, I don't take that personal at all. I commend everybody who attempts to wake up in the Matrix. But Lisa, this game we call Earth ain't no motherfucking joke. This shit, listen, this is some advanced shit down here for your soul. You could get caught up so easy. You could go in the wrong direction. So this is why they say have compassion. Because if you made it, motherfucker, be thankful. Because oh my God, you could get caught up in some shit down here. And I mean in a heartbeat, in a New York minute, your ass would get 20 years and you'd be like, what the fuck happened? This shit ain't no joke down here. So the people that try, I commend them. They didn't make it all. They woke. They diet woke. They didn't make it all the way. I appreciate that they even tried the journey. I'm an old soul. I'm eons old. I don't take this shit personal. If you try and you fail, whatever. You didn't fail to begin with. You'll get it right the next time. You have an eternity to get this shit right. We're in infinite. We have an eternity to get this shit right. I don't want to wait an eternity to get it right. But the people that choose to, all right, motherfucker, come back 1,000 more times. Nigga, we're around forever to play this game. I just don't want to play this particular game forever. I want to move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And if I choose to come back, whatever. But I do not take it personal. I commend them for trying, but I understand the difficulty it is and getting to the level that Lisa's at, or the level that Brother Rich is at, the level that Bobby Hemmond is at, and so on and so on. This shit, let's not take this for granted, Lisa. This shit is some advanced shit. The information 5% of the motherfuckers on planet Earth know. All these other man, they'd be like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to grow this, like we in some amazing situations. And like I said, I'm in this question with this gratitude. And this is why I'm in the position I'm in now, and why I'm an advance. Lisa, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna advance so fast right now because my gratitude is at an all-time high. And a lot of this shit is all on gratitude. There's something about gratitude that I can't explain in this English language, Lisa. There's something about it I cannot explain, but all I could do is to your audience, to you, is to express. There's something about gratitude, y'all, that is that is so divine beyond words. I don't know how to explain it in the English language, but I can tell you that tingling sensation I get inside when I think about how important gratitude is. So I end the question like that. Shout out to everybody who tried, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Thank you. I love your perspectives. It's always so amazing. Brother Blue Pill was on the stage. He came in. He was on the phone, and he left. So let's talk more now about, because I wanted to interview the interviewer, right, to get everybody to. I felt like you needed the spotlight on you because you are transforming a lot. You have transformed so many lives. I'm pretty sure it has been in the hundreds of thousands just by the information that the people that you bring to your platform, and the pathways that you've put out there, the workshops that you've had, the classes that you have. And by the way, guys, his website is pinned at the top of the room. So you guys definitely make sure you click on that and go and bookmark it. So, you can take a look at all the things that he has to offer. And his YouTube channel, for those of you guys that do not know, is Black Magic 363. I was doing a consultation the other day, Brother Rich. Is a young brother. I don't really get a lot of brothers that call me, and he's like, I just sit in your rooms and my mind is just blown, like you said a lot of people don't know this. I said, listen, go. I gave him a bunch of book references after the consultation because he was asking for books and stuff. So I gave him a lot of book references, and I told him, go to your channel. I said, go to that channel and just stay there. And pretty much everything that you're gonna want to know about is, you're gonna find it there. You know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna something is gonna lead you somewhere else. I had Brother Ross Ben in the Matrix Unveiled on the podcast, and I never knew about him. But I learned about him on your channel because Brother Red Pill mentioned him. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, wow,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's how it works. And so you hear it and you move on. And so, guys, make sure you definitely click in with him. He has a Patreon as well. You can go to his YouTube channel. The link to his Patreon should be in one of the video descriptions, or it's also on his website, by the way. So let's get into some. Let's talk about magic and spirituality, and then I want to go into some like recent, like the world events, like things that are happening right now spiritually, and where we're kind of at as a humanity. But your magical practices, and your spirituality, a lot of our people, like you said, was there was that fear when you first started getting into certain things. A lot of people think that, wow, this is some evil shit. You know what I mean? What would you say to a lot of people that may still be struggling with the, or maybe on the fence, and they may not even realize it consciously, it could be a subconscious program, but they may be struggling with the idea of tapping into different forms of magic, and going higher on spirituality and digging deeper. What would your advice be to those people that may have a little bit of fear around this topic?
Um, it depends. The question you ask, it's a general question, but I would tailor make my answer to each individual. And then maybe that's why spiritually, Lisa, maybe that's why I'm not a speaker. Because when they say know thyself, it's an individual journey. The answers I give, Lisa, a lot of the times it depends on the individual I'm talking to. So if I'm talking to 1,000 people, it's hard to give individual information to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people. Like I really tailor make my, because sometimes people ain't ready for certain answers. Now, the question you asked me, immediately on an advanced level, I would say this journey wasn't meant for a lot of people.
Mm.
Maybe they tried, maybe they wanted to think they tried, but this ain't really for a lot of people. A lot of people think this is for them, and it's not. And I don't want to waste a lot of people's time. But I can't say that in a general statement, because the people who this is for is listening at the same time. So I have to find a way to satisfy both of them. So maybe that's why I chose to ask questions, because
Right.
I could satisfy everybody with a question, but with an answer it's difficult, because you're unless you have like a specific target audience. Like let's say a Brother Panic. Brother Panic has a target audience. Some people don't have those target audiences like that. But if I give a general answer, saying all that to say, if I gave a general answer to your question, I would just say, make sure this is for you.
Right.
Make sure you can handle what comes with, if you decide to go on this journey. Are you able to sacrifice a family? Are you able to sacrifice a job? Are you able to sacrifice people's opinion on you? And depending on your level of discomfort with all of that will determine whether this journey is for you. My as far as I was concerned, I knew that, to give it a personal example, I knew that going on this journey, it would eliminate at that time, especially. Like I said, once again, this is the year 2000. This was going, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm like. I'm like 18 or something like that. I don't know. Something. I knew that this would eliminate a lot of girls I want. I'm from a regular dude from the hood, from Harlem, the projects. So I knew that me getting into this is going to eliminate a lot of girls I want to talk to, because they're going to say this nigga is nuts. What I also
All right.
knew is the criticism for my family. What I also knew was the criticism for my friends that's from the hood. So you got to analyze all of this. After you analyze it, still ask yourself, are you ready for this? I was ready for the situation with the females. All right, whatever. I love it this much. I was ready for the situation with my friends, whatever. I don't care what they say. I was ready for the situation with the job, whatever. I find something to do where I'm comfortable and I ain't got a shucking job in me. I was ready for whatever, Lisa. I was ready. I was built for this shit. Tailor made, body design, Matrix. This is my avatar was completely designed for this. So when it came time, I'm like, whatever it takes, I'ma learn this information. If girls don't want to fuck with me, if my friends don't want to fuck me, whatever. And then this is the most beautiful part. You're ready to sacrifice all that, but then when you get into the information, you understand that you can have whatever you want, this motherfucker.
There you go.
So that's the beautiful part. Nigga,
Yes.
that's what makes you God. You was just ready to sacrifice it all, but nigga, you can have it all once you get into this. It was so it's like, oh shit, everybody else don't know this, but you know what? It's up to them to figure it out. I figured
Right.
it out. I was ready to give it all up just to understand that I got it all. And I can
Yeah.
have it all by being into this. So it's the biggest trick. Oh man, it's such a trick that the spirit uses to rediscover itself. You act like you so limited. You they coming to America. You Prince Hakeem. You so poor. Only for everybody to figure out and you to know one day and rediscover, even though he already knew he was rich. But it was such a good story because he's pretending you pretending to be so poor and sorry and pitiful and sad. Motherfucker, you a prince, and when you decide to be that, all your riches come right back to you, man. It's beautiful. It's such a wonderful game, but at the end of the day, uh, I don't need to play this game no more. I'm good at
Because you figured
I'm
it
good at
out.
this game, but it's clever. It's clever. I will say that it's clever. It's a clever game.
Right. I always say, people come here and they do exactly what they came here to do. That's what I believe. That's why some get it earlier and some get it later. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I mean? Like it's some people, this is just something that they've, you always know, and you're willing to sacrifice everything. And it's a thing what you can't tell somebody like a meditative experience that you had, or when you had a thought or feeling a download, and you just did something and it just happened, and you know what I'm saying, like you
I know.
sacrifice,
Yeah,
you do that
yeah.
inner work, and like you walk around and you feel like you a god. You know what I'm saying? Like you like, can't nothing out here really touch me. You know what I'm saying? And people don't get that it's actually freedom. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's a freeness that you have inside of you, because, and also, that what we call death don't even exist. You know what I'm saying? And once you
Uh
remove
huh.
that out of the way, that's when things get really fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
Exactly, exactly. So I was watching your interview the last interview you did with Billy Carson. Man, that was amazing. Okay. That's the kind of stuff I like to talk about all the time. I feel like that's where we're at now, right? Once you conquered, because once you conquered all the magical spiritual stuff, you've been through that journey. We're always looking for the next level, the next level, the next level. I read two books back in the early 2000s. One that taught me about quantum physics. Gave me the basics, right? A book by Greg Braden called the Divine Matrix, and one called
Right.
Zero
Yeah.
Point Field with Lynn McTaggart,
Mm.
right?
I got that one. I got that one.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's the quantum field. That's the quantum field. The
that's
zero
the
point field.
yeah.
I was talking about that earlier. That's when I said that's where I get my questions from. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about. The 0 point field. Yeah.
Yes. So, one of the things I say all the time in here is we don't even have time to be playing around. We going quantum. We're talking about jumping from place to place. We're talking about wormholes. We're talking about metaverses, and CERN just turned that Hadron Collider back on, and right after they turned the Hadron Collider back on, this was like right before you guys went up the mountain and Stone Mountain, right? And did that meditation. You was there, right, with Red and Blue Pill?
The time I went was before they turned on the.
Oh, okay.
This is before because they went after that.
Okay.
The first time we went,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I mean it was hundreds. I mean, oh god, I don't even want to go because I want you to finish with your question. But the
Mm-hmm.
first time we went, it was fucking. I don't know how much I could curse on your platform, but it
You can
was
curse.
effing.
You can
Okay,
curse.
it was effing. It was amazing. It was amazing. But go ahead with your finish your question. But it was amazing. So we went several times though. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, but y'all been working on that grid, okay?
Yeah.
I talk about this stuff all the time, like these portals. Interestingly enough, when you had Billy on last night, I'm gonna get to the question. This is like a little sidebar, but it was
Yeah.
interesting. You know how we talk about how, like, us being in alignment and tapping into those different quantum fields. We don't talk to each other. This is the first time I actually had a long conversation with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I did this. It's on the podcast. We were talking about the ley lines and the portals on Earth. Okay, the Giza Strip, and I found out about the one in the Big Eggy Mountains, and I watched somebody asked that question and your mind was blown. And then Billy was like, I did a whole documentary on
Yeah.
that, which I need
Uh-huh.
to find, by the way. But you got to look into that. That's really, really is dope. And it's in Romania, and it got something to do with Transylvania and
Mm.
the vampires and all that. You know what I'm saying? Some of them, those, I don't know if you get into well, hell yeah, you do. Because shoot, I know you what. You was on the David Icke shit. So I know
Yeah, yeah.
the reptilians and all that. So they come in and out of that mountain. But my question is based upon these grid lines, right? This Earth's veins. I heard y'all call it something a mycelium or something like that, right? I call it
Mycelium. Mycelium.
mycelium. I
Yeah.
call it the veins of the Earth. That's what I call it. Like our brain
Uh,
network, our neural pathway, our
yeah.
neural network.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Earth has that, right? But I didn't know there was like a word for it until I heard you guys say it last night. And so the question is with CERN and what they're trying to do, and those Georgia Guidestones tipping over like the next day. What do you think that was?
Yeah. So with that, I mean, even if it was an individual who did it was divinely inspired. Sometimes we have this thing where something has to be a conspiracy or it has to be divine. Everything is divine in a sense because we're playing a movie role. There's characters in the age of Pisces, and we're in the age of Aquarius, so we need a whole new set of characters. So this is why we're seeing new stars, new characters popping up. Donald Trump was a different kind of a president because he was a character in this movie we call life, who was meant to usher in a new age. Black people were meant to lose faith in the Democrats because we're slaves to the Democratic ideology for whatever reason. So it's like a whole movie that has to be played out in everybody's characters. So as far as the Georgia Guidestones, what I do know is that whoever, if somebody did it or whether it was lightning, it's divinely inspired. Why it's divinely inspired? Because of the time that we are going in. So what I do know is I don't have to know who exactly did it or what exactly did it. What I do know is that it's a sign of the times, and we are going to continue to get the sign of the time, just like in Spain. Shit, there's thousands of people dying from the heat wave. This is a sign of the times. Now they could say Harp did it. Turned on the machine, and they get like whether Harp did it or not. These are characters in a movie that's divinely inspired to do what they're supposed to do. I'm a character in this movie that my higher self assigned this character. So I'm designed to do certain things. The more successful I become, Lisa, the more people say it's a conspiracy. He's a part of the Illuminati. Did you see his hand gestures or this or did they come up with all types of shit the bigger I become? But you know what? At the end of the day, anytime we become successful, people are going to accredit it to the byproduct instead of the producer of it all, which is the quantum field. If we understood the quantum field produced all this shit, then we will be far more advanced than what we are now. But my answer to your question is pretty much, regardless of whether it's conspiracy or not, the Georgia Guidestones and everything, it's divinely inspired and it's the sign of the times.
I love it. I love it. I definitely feel that there's an invisible what we can't see that we already know about the spiritual war, but I believe that there's technology, you know what I'm saying, like, and intergalactic beings that come in and out of, and they I feel like CERN um cracked a hole in something. They did create a portal and something came through and that had to drop. I didn't know that that whole George Guidestone was based upon eliminating, a certain group of people. That I
Yeah,
did not know.
population, yeah, population control, yeah.
But it was about us.
Hmm.
There's a documentary called Dark Clouds Over Elberton. Okay. And it doesn't get into it until like the last 30, 20 minutes. But yeah, it's a pretty good documentary. And I was like, whoa, I had no idea. So it was a specific group of people they were trying to eliminate off the planet. It wasn't everybody. You know what I mean? So that was interesting. So here's my final question for now before I open up to everyone. And this is something I wanted to ask you because for me and my spiritual journey, one of the things that I have been trying to figure out is just establishing, because so many lies have been told throughout history from the beginning of the time. The timelines aren't what they tell us. We don't even know what year it actually is, right? um as far as the creation of humanity, okay, what do you believe took place? Like, how did we evolve? Like, what is your thought process and idea on that? Like,
Man,
do you think it's the Anunnaki? Do you think it was before the Anunnaki? Like, what's your belief system on humanity's early beginnings?
well, in terms of the history of the universe, the Anunnaki happened 5 minutes ago. If we're gonna measure this shit on a universal time clock, the Anunnaki shit that was like 5 minutes ago, and that was more so some shit with the white folks, and they're the youngest race, and this has nothing to do with racism, but they are the youngest race. So a lot of the stories we hear about man being created or all these stories that is dealing with white people. They are the youngest race on the planet, and they act like it. And we are the oldest race, and we act like it. We act like we washed up.
We don't
Look
give a
at black
damn.
people.
I
We
know.
act like we. So it's not. I could criticize both of us. We act like we washed up. You ever seen a washed up boxer, a washed up dude, or what? You be like, God damn, what happened to you? That's how. When you look at black people, everybody on the planet looks at us and say, "What the fuck happened to y'all?" We washed up. White people, they the youngest. They act wild like a motherfucker. So we both act a certain way that is just not conducive to humanity at the time. But in terms of your question, the Anunnaki, all that shit, that a lot of that shit is dealing with them. But we're old. Like in terms of that's a question that listen, Lisa, man, listen, we are old. We are old species. So I'm not even sure where to begin with that, but I do know Earth, it goes through certain frequencies where certain things is easy to access. So there was a time on Earth where we could fly, and a lot of us have memories of that, of flying. Even if we wasn't around during that time, we'll have dreams about that because that's part of the collective grid of this planet. So we're tap into that. Some of us flew before, some of us didn't fly in the past. But this planet has been around for a long time, and depending on what frequency it's in, like they say we're going to 5D before we was in 3D. We could do certain things. Our certain gifts are online. Like the X-Men, you see all these things that the X-Men could do with these Marvel comics. There was times when we could do a lot of those things because of the frequencies, the light, the information that hit the planet at that time. Right now, the sun we have, according to certain speakers, is not even the sun we had 10 years ago. So when you see people, children advancing fast, or the adults learning at a faster rate, or whatever happening, is because the light, which is the primary food source, is a more advanced light that we was getting 10 years ago. So you're going to see way more advanced things happen now than you did in the past. And I feel as though in terms of us being here on Earth, depending on where our planet is with the sun and the stars, you will see advanced things go down, or you will see degenerative things go down, and civilizations crumble. And that has to do all with the ages that they talk about, like the age of Pisces and et cetera, et cetera.
Wow, let me just say this. You spoke about gratitude. Like, I am filled with it right now. I'm like, I love your answers and everything that, like, your perspective is super amazing, and I'm pretty sure everybody can feel that vibration as well. So thank you for that. That's a wonderful perspective. We've been here too long because I be like trying to figure out about Atlantis, Lemuria. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
basically just trying to figure some of that stuff out, but it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? It don't even matter for real. But thank you. So what I'm gonna do now, guys, if you have a question for Brother Rich, go ahead and tap your mic. And if you're in the audience and you have a question, just put the question in the chat, okay? And send it, and AJ will let me know what the question is, and we'll get it to Brother Rich. So if you're on the stage and you got a question, go ahead and tap your mic. I see Devi. Go ahead, Devi.
Yes. Hi, Brother Rich. Lisa, this is a great show. My question to you, you were just discussing the concept of us being very old, being here for a long time, an old race and all. And I that brought to mind the idea, the concept that Bobby Hemmett sometimes talked about, and somewhat Brother Rod Hayes too, who talks about the concept that, yeah, while that's the case, some of us who look like us aren't us. It's not the same. So, what are your thoughts on the concept of walk-ins?
Well, not just walk-ins, but also what you just said. Some of us that look like us are not us. This is where that intuition comes in. You can't get fooled by race. You can't get fooled by gender. Some people think if they see a woman speaking that it's going to be a softer message, or if she's more trustworthy because of our perception of what women are. But at the end of the day, it don't matter who's talking. Man, woman, black, white, Hispanic, whatever you want to call all of these labels, everybody is capable of doing everything and no thing at the same time. So the most important tool you have, your GPS with inside you, your intuition, is extremely important. So all I would say to what you just said is that we need to understand and cultivate our intuition. There has to be courses on that. There has to be all types of things on us cultivating our intuition so we can understand who's who, not just who's who, but who we are. And a lot of people think they are intuitive, but they're really not. It's really their ego talking to them. So that is the most important school on planet Earth that I would say, in terms of anything that you just asked, in terms of anything, we have to cultivate our intuition, starting from an early age, and it's going to continue our whole life.
Indeed, indeed. Thank you much, Brother Rich.
Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else on the stage has a question? Go ahead and tap your mics. Okay, go ahead there, Dreamwise.
Yo, yo, peace to the God, peace to the God, peace, brother Rich.
Peace,
Yeah,
peace.
man. My question is, man, I was telling Aleem El Bay this a while ago. I said he has one of the most important channels, YouTube channels ever, but also you. I mean, like, just not being biased, being able to take so many different people's perspectives, being able to just open up and just sit back and just understand what the what the interviewer is saying and everything like that is just amazing. My question to you is, this year you tapped into a different energy which is phenomenal, which is needed right now. What was that thought process, or what's that mental space? Because I know, you know what I'm saying, getting these people together, making sure they're on time, you see what I'm saying, and having that kind of built up energy day after day to interview and really get the information that the people need. What was that feeling, or what's that energy that's coming through you in this particular time?
Brother, that's such a good question. I'm so glad you asked that question. That's such a good question. And as a person, as a soul being, and everybody's not a soul being, I could tell that question came from your soul. So I could, from my soul to your soul, I could appreciate that question. But I'm gonna tell
Okay.
you this. I'm gonna tell you this. In terms of this year, I'm gonna tell you this, brother. In terms of this year, I had no idea what happened this year was gonna happen this year. Once again, like I said, I just follow my heart. I just follow my soul, and I got this message that this year I gotta focus on metaphysics, like hardcore. Like I really gotta hone in on metaphysics. I'm watching the world turn. I watched the world from 2020 in the pandemic. I watched everybody focus on the financial markets. Everybody was in the cryptocurrency, and I did workshops on that. Everybody was into the stock market. Everybody, because everybody wanted to figure out how to make money in this economy. And something told me, and I would watch everybody, Wall Street Trapper, so many people on the internet just do their thing with the financial markets. And I'm like, hmm, what should I focus on since the world is changing? They call this the great reset. My spirit told me, nigga, go hard like you never went hard in 2022 on metaphysics. And I've been in this game for over 15 years, and when I say game, the game of life, the game of what I'm doing. So my spirit told me go harder than I ever went on metaphysics, and that's what I did this year. And I got the most amazing results because once again, I listened to my spirit. Now, if I didn't listen to my spirit and I said, well, everybody's going left, let me go left. Everybody was going left with the financial markets, but I decided to go right because that's where my spirit told me to go. So that's where I went. And the thing about it is, what makes your question so beautiful, for me especially, is because the thing that gave me this answer, this answer was a gift. um Last year I decided to concentrate what I talked about earlier. I decided to concentrate on gratitude. So I was like, you know what, I'm really gonna make gratitude part of my daily life, and I'm gonna focus on it the majority part of my day. So I started practicing gratitude last year, unlike I ever did before. And once I did this, brother, I'm gonna tell you, I got so many gifts. I got gifts from practicing gratitude. Like I'm gonna keep stressing that. You're gonna be like, damn, why does nigga keep talking about this shit? Because it's that important. And I'm not saying, I'm saying it to feel it. So everybody, a nigga can't give you what to say, be thankful about. It's individual. You could be thankful for your driveway. You could be thankful because your girl touched the left side of your body. Nobody knows that from but you. So don't ask no guru what to be thankful for. Don't ask no guru, niggas. Don't ask no guru what to be thankful for. That's you. You decide because you're gonna feel it when you know it. So I felt it last year, and the gift from the universe, they brought up a magic technique that I stopped using, and it was the magic technique is mirror magic. And the universe, and this is the first time I'm saying, the universe told me, get back into your mirror magic, brother Rich or black magic, whatever the fuck you call yourself on earth. And I got back into my mirror magic, and I know for a fact it's my mirror magic that made 2022 such an amazing year for me, because I feel it while I'm doing it, and then when it happens in this reality, I'm like, oh shit, I thought about this. I was just thinking about this shit, but I got a gift from being gratitude. The gift I got, they reminded me of what's my most important. Potent magic. Me personally, my most potent magic is mirror magic. So when I engage in that, I'm on level 1,000. So because they reminded me of that gift, I applied that gift. I started utilizing that gift, and I started imagining. And this whole year has been magical, brother. I moved. I mean, all types of shit. This has been magical, and that's my answer to that.
Woo!
I say, yeah.
Man, you putting you boosting, like, you know, like, y'all feel this
Straight
energy?
power right
Yeah,
there.
you
Power.
got.
Yes.
I don't.
Man, you are pouring into us. Who has the next question on stage?
No, but real talk, brother Rich. That was power. And I was talking to Yosef yesterday, and he was telling me like you really are an angel, like real talk, because he was telling me about that Yaki thing, and I didn't catch your live when you went by yourself, but he was telling me he told me what happened to Yaki with the Netflix thing, and I thought that was amazing, and I said, man, this nigga brother Rich probably made so many millionaires. Not trying to value the money or nothing like that, but still, when we look at this thing at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? People coming from your channel and then being able to, kind of manipulate the matrix from, from the energy of what Bobby stemmed from is just amazing, dog. Real, real
Oh,
amazing.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you this real quick. I ain't gonna go into it thoroughly, but I'm gonna tell you based on what you said. I made so many people are thankful for coming on my platform. Just recently, let me just use the recent example. Dr. B Serious, his website crashed 3 times in
Wow.
the
Fire.
last month
Wow.
because so many people bombarded his website from my channel. People come on my channel. Brother Hank told me this one time. A motherfucker will come on my channel one time and they have the ability to buy a car after being on my channel one day. If you got some good information and the people think you got good product, especially if I promote it, nigga, you good. So it's a gift and a curse. I'm gonna tell you, brother, I made a lot of enemies. So many people are mad at me for not being on my channel. A lot of man, some you'll see some hate shit on me on the internet, or motherfuckers making videos, and is all it comes down to. A lot of that, they're just not on my channel. They're not on my channel and they're upset and they're mad and they're angry. And a lot of times I'm not purposely blocking somebody. These motherfuckers just they got shit on their mind and they just go crazy. And you be surprised what happens to people, and you be surprised the stories the ego will tell you. But some people, they just for whatever reason, they just like, yo, I'm not getting enough shine on Brother Rich channel, and they just end up saying crazy shit. And some people are very grateful and they show gratitude and they tell me, because I wouldn't know if they didn't tell me, but they tell me. They're like, yo, your channel is you, brother. Yo, yo, like this happened or that happened. So what you're saying is 100% accurate, my brother.
You know, that's crazy to me. I would have never thought that like who would have a problem with Brother Rich?
Oh
But
man, it's they. If I mean, if you feel as though you don't have the access you want, you'd be surprised. People want what they want, Lisa. You know how many people? I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you real quick. A lot of times throughout the years, me being, like I said, I've been in this since I probably started filming in 2006. In terms of the audience and the people, just if people can't get what they want, they will turn on you in a heartbeat. I've had people, Lisa, say, "Brother Rich, I love you, Brother Rich, I love you, brother, I love you." If you don't answer to their email in 2 3 days,
hmm
fuck you, nigga. I knew you wasn't shit. You a scam artist. Like they will turn on you. Lisa, I done seen it. This is why they say, what's the not friends to foes. Rick Ross had a song. Oh shit. When you think Idols, the song, I forgot what the name of it was,
Big
but
Meech. That one?
no, not that
Oh,
one.
okay,
It was
excuse me, love.
it was another one. But the people will turn on you so fast when they don't get what they want. So fast that you got to get used to it, and you can't take it personal. Can't take it personal. Yeah.
You know what? I'm learning that, and I have a very small platform, just here in Clubhouse, but I'm building outside of here as well. And you're right, you know what I mean? And it is daunting. You know what I'm saying? Like the human nature and the way that people can be. But you keep rising. Like you definitely snapped this you snapped. I was like, we'll get a video like once a week, and maybe if it's a good week, we'll get two. You know what I mean? But
Yo, it's all divinely inspired, Lisa. It's all divinely inspired.
yes, and you know what? You are motivating so many other people out here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how someone could look and not be inspired by, you know what I'm saying, that's not they're not on the right frequency, you know? Let me ask you this. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Does anybody else have any questions on the stage? You guys, you got Brother Rich right here. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Just ask your questions.
Hi. Greetings. This is Madaraka Chi. How are you, Brother Rich? Thank you so much, Lisa, for this space. Um, I I didn't have a direct question, but I did want to say thank you for the message of gratitude. It is definitely helpful in practicing that, and I'm going to make sure I stay and stick with that because it does make a difference. And Lisa, I think it was an amazing idea to interview the interviewer, and you did a great job with this interview. And I think that you need to do more on YouTube yourself. I would love to see that happen. And I think Brother Rich would be a great guide in terms of that. I do watch your show, Brother Rich, and I got a chance to meet you here in Atlanta, and go to the mountain myself and my daughter with you guys to Stone Mountain with you guys, and that was
Excellent.
debating
Excellent.
opportunity. And I hope to see you tomorrow at Phil's event, at the Phil Brothers event. But peace and blessings. I might chime back in later. Thank you so much. And this has been a great interview. All your questions are things that already you guys already asked, like Dreamwise and Lisa already asked things that I already had in mind. So no point in repeating it. Thank you so much. All right.
Indeed. Thank you for calling. Two things I just want to say that definitely, Lisa, I definitely would love to see you on YouTube. And any help you need, Queen, I'm here to assist you. I will tell my entire audience to subscribe to your channel. So if you are ever, Lisa, listen, you've been in this, like I said in the very beginning of the show. Before I answered your first question, I said I didn't know you like that in back in 2007, 8, 9, but I know you consistent and I seen you continuously put in the work. And I love your spirit, my sister, that I've recognized via the internet. And we're non-local beings, we're all connected via that network. So if you ever want to go on YouTube, I will give you the ultimate shout out. I will tell everybody about your channel and my hopefully my audience can welcome you on YouTube. So I just definitely wanted to tell you that personally. And I just wanted to thank the sister for coming out to Stone Mountain. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I'm y'all cut it out, man. I'm all humble.
Yeah. We can
Why
use
y'all
you
doing me
on
like this? You know what
YouTube.
I mean? But one of the things, right? One thing Bobby Hemmett said, and I knew was for me, and I love that. I love that man. He's always been in my uncle in my head. Is you gotta be pure of heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And you got
yeah.
just be pure heart and be about the information and just do the work. You know what I mean? He opened up so many avenues to me, and that's what I felt about you as well, because like you stayed behind the camera. So to hear you say today that you love being on the stage, like in real life, you know what I'm saying? But you stayed behind that camera because it wasn't about you. It was about the information. It was about getting the knowledge out there. And you have transformed so many lives. I know that just by the people that you put in front of people, but not only that, by your own wisdom. I do also enjoy, when you go live by yourself, or when you make those videos and you're the one that's speaking, because you're giving out a lot of wisdom like you're doing here today. Somebody wrote in the chat, say, Brother Rich is the scribe of the gods. Okay.
I got a question for Brother Rich, man.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes,
So
First,
sir.
I wanna.
I want us to, I want us to put that moniker on you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You are the scribe of the gods.
mm,
You,
mm.
you, you you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That's
I like that too. I
I
like
like
that too.
that. Let's do something with it, okay?
I
Let's
like that. I
yeah,
like that
yeah,
too.
yeah. Hey, go ahead, brother
Nah,
Sensei.
that was very fitting because that's what I was gonna commend the brother on. My mother transitioned in 2004, right? And I came from the streets with this thing. So when I jumped off of, when I unplugged and when I started to go on YouTube, like binge watching your channel and
Mm.
seeing all the brothers coming on there and listening to the books that you recommended. And I was reading a couple of books early on. And I remember you did a show and I think you was interviewing I think KT. I had just met KT. All right. I had just met him down here in Dallas. And I was doing a bunch of speaking and stuff at that time. I had met Asher Wakawazy. And you was talking about KT was talking about how he's his own individual. And you said something in that interview and you was talking about how you remain brother rich no matter what. Just that simple thing right there. It let me know how easy it was for you to remain yourself and make it look easy, I would say. But when you just spoke to the brother about in the background dealing with the hate and how you just still showed up and you remained on your square, I want to commend you for that. Because I know even with Ashwaka Weza, how the spiritual community outed him, and to watch these people just try to diminish and demean you, and you just keep showing up doing what you do. I commend you for that, brother. I really do. So I had to give you that, just like what Lisa was saying, because it's not an easy thing dealing with people and their personalities and their egos, and still at the same time knowing that this is something that you actually love to do. See, it's not what you do, it's actually who you are. So I want to commend you on that, brother, straight up. And I also want to ask you, because I see like a lot of different people on your channels, and I never really knew the process. And you just spoke to Lisa about your channel, but I never really knew the process that you went through to interview people or to get people on your channel. So I just wanted to know from your perspective, like, what did that look like for you? Because I can tell you very intuitive and you mindful on who you bring on your channel and who you support. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta be that way. You gotta be that way doing what you do. So I just want to ask you, what did that process look like for you? And how has that
Well,
changed over time too?
indeed, my brother. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. My channel. Let me just say what my channel is for. To start out with, my channel. I don't have like a target audience in terms of it's a Moorish channel or it's an occult channel or it's a health channel. My channel is more like a university where there's different schools of thoughts, and so many people from so many different walks of life could come on my channel and gain a higher understanding of who they are. And I feel as though if my channel is a university, there's different grades, there's different levels. I have teachers who teach more advanced. I have teachers who are more on the beginner level. I have teachers who are on the intermediate level. I even have people who may speak about pop culture just to bring the people who's in the pop culture into the information. So let's say like Red and Blue Pill are absolutely amazing when it comes to speaking on pop culture and infusing metaphysics, occult, and just consciousness into it. So if I want that audience and I want to reach that level of people, Red and Blue Pill are absolutely amazing at doing that. Now, once the people come to my channel, they could scroll the channel and they could find more advanced teachers. They may first get into Billy Carson, who deals with quantum physics, and they just may continue to graduate to, let's say, a Dr. Phil Valentine or whoever, or however. Everybody's road is different. So I definitely make try to make my channel open to people of all schools of thought, and not all schools of thought, but a lot of schools of thought and just different levels. So whether you are in the beginner, the neophyte stage, or whether you are in the advanced stage, all of y'all could come to my channel and learn from different people.
That's a fact. It's a literal smorgasbord.
Yeah.
It's a, you know what it is? It's a library. And I'm so glad that you have the university and you know what I'm saying, you're starting to like package it and redistribute it in that way because people not always, no, I'm gonna just say it straight. Nobody really appreciates what they get for free. You understand what I'm saying? So there has to be levels to it, right? You get certain stuff, you know, boom, 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 and even that free stuff can transform your life. And you know what I'm saying? And then, but if you want to get you, we got to reach like people that are very serious, and for that, that's a separate thing. So guys, make sure you click, you know, that link at the top, and at least if nothing else, go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel and make sure that you make a bookmark to this page and scroll through. And when you're ready to go ahead and grab, you know, whatever course that you're needing at this particular time, then you go ahead and do that. But yeah, this is, I mean, brother Rich, I don't, man, this is he the scribe of the gods. That's the new name. That's what
Scribe of the
that
God. I
that
swear I'm gonna run with that. I love that
that's
one.
I love
That,
it.
that got created on Lisa's channel, Scribe of the
That's right.
Gods.
And I'm gonna take a screenshot, and
Yeah.
I already took a screenshot of it, so I'll send it. We're gonna give credit to the person that gave you that name, right? But I love that
Indeed.
scribe of the gods. You need that. So one of the questions that someone in the chat has
The
is
scribe of the gods.
this she wants to know, this is Monet. So Monet wants to know, um she says, can you ask him, does he believe it is a way to travel to a dimension of a loved one that has passed away?
Almost definitely. We're non-local. We could travel anywhere in this universe. So yeah, your loved one, you have a direct connection to them. You have an emotional connection. Emotion is like the information highway. This is, so when we're emotional about something, we connect to it very, very, very easily. But even if it's pain, misery, whether it's joy, whether it's heartbreak, if we're emotional about that particular frequency, we end up connecting to that frequency. So if you're emotional about a loved one, you could definitely connect to them. I would say how to connect to them. I would say once again that's personal. So you think of what's their favorite color, you think of what they like to eat, you think of what they like to drink, you think of what music they like to listen to. You combine all of that. You combine all of that together, and you light a candle. Candles are important. It slows down your vibration. It slows down your thinking. You want to slow down your neocortex, your thinking mind that you use all day long, and you want to tap in to the other part of your mind that is more spiritual. So once you slow down your thoughts, your breathing determines your frequency. So once you slow down your breathing, you get into a meditative state. You slow down your breathing. You slow down your thoughts, that's automatically going to change your frequency. And since they're on a particular frequency, is everything frequency, you slow down vibration along with your love for them and your emotional intention combined with the things that they love. It's a guaranteed connection. You got to do this, and you got to do it. It has to come from your heart. I can't direct you too much because I don't know you. So I could direct you. Let's say it's from 1 to 10. I could direct you from 1 to 3, from 4 to 10. It has to be all you. So I'm gonna give you the beginning, or somebody will give you the beginning what to do. After that, it's all on you. It's all on you and your spirit. You got to think of it all. You gotta find a way. You got to find a way, or else you not, you asked out. Because I'm not, that master teacher era is over. This is the age of Aquarius. That master teacher era is over. This is the age. The only reason why we had master teachers is because in a way we had to have them for humanity. Elijah Muhammad was necessary for the black race. He was the most successful organizer, uh, person who had an organization in the Americas. Amazing what Elijah Muhammad did. Absolutely necessary. Right now, we don't need more Elijahs. We need more individuals who know how to think for themselves, who could figure it out, and who's more tapped into the spirit. So Elijah's not bad. You're not bad. It's just certain people are necessary at certain times. Martin Luther King was necessary at a certain time. He's not bad or good. He was just necessary at that time. But at this time, we need motherfuckers who's more sovereign in their spirit and their spirituality. Yeah.
Yeah, speaking on the ancestors too, brother Rich, you did a tape with Panic and Bobby back in the day on that Michael Jackson tape. It was a classic. Oh my God! And I think YouTube had took it down. Is there any way you have like a dub copy of it? Because yeah, that was like amazing.
I have. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't have, and I don't even know why. I just move a certain way sometimes. I don't have any blog talk show I ever did. I have no idea about blog talk radio in terms of my shows. I don't go back there. I don't have an archive. I don't remember my password. I just, it was just a period in my life that I did, and then after that, I just left it alone. I'm gonna tell you yeah, so I have no idea how to get that Bobby and Panic video from Blog Talk, but I'm gonna tell you
No, I think it was on YouTube though, Rich. I think you did that one on YouTube back in the day.
no, 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 that was on Blog Talk. Somebody uploaded it to their
Oh,
YouTube.
okay. Somebody
Yeah,
uploaded
yeah,
it.
somebody
Okay.
uploaded. That was before YouTube blew up. But when I did that video, YouTube was only uploading 8-minute videos. They remember at first YouTube only said you could upload 8 minutes
Yep,
of a
I
video.
remember that. Yep, that was
Yeah,
that
That
was the
15 part
golden
jump.
age of the beginning of the golden age of
yeah,
YouTube.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
So at that time, nobody was fucking with YouTube. Out of nowhere, YouTube just said, "Yo, you got unlimited time," and then that's when the consciousness boom happened. That's when everybody started upload. It was like the wild wild west of consciousness on YouTube. When YouTube said you could have more than 8 minutes, and everybody, if people figured, especially when people knew you could get paid. Oh my God, it was just a wild wild west. But then YouTube shut all that down. I mean, they shut it all down.
All of
So
it.
yeah, so this is why so many people disappeared. You see everybody that disappeared. You're like, what the fuck happened? YouTube shut so much down, so much they shut down. But yeah, my blog talk. I have no idea, brother. To tell you the truth, I don't have my password. I just left that era alone. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I just always
Because
move
you
on.
did what you were supposed to do. That's
Yeah,
it. Hmm.
it may be right.
You already
Yeah, I
put that
just
footprint down. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
some
yeah,
stuff you just had to be there, and it's like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely.
If you're supposed to get it, then you're gonna get it. You know. Okay, so guys, we're gonna be winding down here in a few minutes. Any other questions for Brother Rich
Oh
on stage?
yes, one more
Mm-hmm.
question, really quick. In regards to music, Brother Rich, um, you're a producer, right? And an
Yes,
artist.
yes.
Yeah. I did go do some digging and I heard some great music and videos that you did with Kambada as
Yeah,
well.
Cambada. Yes.
Oh
Fire,
my
fire,
goodness.
fire.
I love it. And I guess I was curious as to know, are you down to work with any dope female MCs anytime soon in the near future? And yeah, that was my question.
Yeah, if I resonate with your music, I'm definitely down. Um Music is a major part of my life, and it's a major part of my soul journey. And it's actually I like I talked about in the beginning when I talked about just your destiny and knowing what you came down here to do. And I was like, yo, my inner voice told me, why don't you try asking questions. Music is something else that my inner voice talks to me about, my intuition talks to me about. So it's something that I'm definitely gonna pursue more heavily in the future. So yeah, I'm definitely open to work with more people. You could my email, you could send stuff to richandmerit@yahoo.com, and that's spelled RICHINMERIT So that's richandmerit@yahoo.com. And you can send me your stuff there. And if I resonate with it, I'll definitely get back to you. I get so many emails, so sometimes it takes a while to respond. Hopefully I even see the email. But yeah, if I resonated with it, I definitely will get back to you, Queen.
Thank
Man,
you. No problem. Rich and
Brother Rich,
married. Okay.
just even your name. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your name
Super.
in of itself is a sigil. Like creative flow of dollar. You know what I'm saying? Well, craft flow dollar,
Yeah.
right? Creative
Yeah.
flow of dollars. Right. Like it's so your name is the word sigil. So you and your mom, she just really set you up to be very successful. And every single thing that you have achieved that you work diligently and very hard for, and with a lot of high ethics, you deserve to be commended for that. So I just wanted to say that, not that you needed me to say that, but people need to know that, and you need to be given your flowers, and that's what we're doing here today, making sure that people know who you are. Not, you have shit over 200,000 subscribers, but also being able to withstand that YouTube shift. A lot of people's channels,
Indeed.
got deleted, or
Mm.
they weren't monetized, and so that's just, I see the way that you move. I see that the way that you do things, and you can't say everything on YouTube. So there has to be another place like the university pinned at the top where you guys can connect with him as Patreon, things of that nature. So guys, there's one other question. Okay. Oh, Princeton finally shut up. But I have one other question. Well, it's not my question. It's a question from the chat. I guess they really loving this, Brother Rich. And so the question she want to know is, why don't you do more videos like this where you're the one talking versus always interviewing?
That's not my passion. Doesn't That's not where my passion is at. My passion is in. I follow my passion. I follow my compass. My intuition and my passion. And Phil Valentine described passion as intention intensified. So my attention is not into just me talking. I get more of a love frequency from asking questions. And you got to go where you get your love frequency. Sometimes we say passion and people don't know what that means. And I will substitute passion sometimes for love frequency. And like Kanye will say something like what Kanye would say was his love language was clothing. He told Kim Kardashian that. So he understands that designing, he gets a certain vibe, a certain love vibe from designing. I understand my love language is asking questions. So you have to figure out, everybody has to figure out, instead of saying passion, because the person be like, well, what I'm passionate about. What's your love language? My love language is asking questions, not just speaking, not speaking. Speaking, I'm great at speaking, but I don't, because of language, like I said, once again, because of language, and I'm a primordial entity. As a primordial entity, I express myself better in question form than in answer form in this particular language. In this lifetime, in this dimension, in this form, as a primordial entity, I express myself better in question form than I do in answer form. So, what I would encourage everybody to do is just to find their, instead of saying passion, what's your love language? How do you communicate love? I communicate love, and when I mean love, I communicate the greatest version of myself. Like I feel amazing when I ask a question. I feel amazing when I make a beat. So I make a beat for artists, and then Cambada will flow over it. What do you feel amazing doing? And that's your love language. Like, so Kanye, and I use him because he's pop culture and people understand it better that way. Kanye said he felt amazing dressing Kim. So a lot of people be like, a nigga dress a woman? Like, yeah, he felt amazing dressing Kim. She had no style. She's a white girl. She's a gypsy, and he's a brother, and he's from Chicago. He got style, so he dressed her, and he changed everything. The designers wouldn't holler at her before he dressed her, before he did certain things. So you have to figure out what's your love language. How do you communicate with people through love besides the English language? And even if it's poetry or whatever, when we express ourselves through love through the English language, we always change up the English language. We always use slang. We always use we use things that shouldn't be there because the English language is not a love language. So yet the love language is always going to be something a little off from what society teaches you it should be. But everybody who's listening, what is your love language? Figure that out, work on it, and stimulate that to the world. My love language is asking questions. I listen and I ask an amazing question, or I may make a beat, but figure out how do you express love to the world. Let's substitute passion with how do y'all express love to the world.
I freaking love that.
The key is, he said the world. So
Yes,
you got to get past your selfish needs of expressing that to somebody else and fill that void first, right? And then you can get to what Brother Rich talking about.
right. And so, see, when you understand the quantum field, right, and these multiverses, and you have it in existence, Brother Rich, I say this all the time, that whatever, if your mind can conceive an idea, right, something that you want to manifest in your life, it already exists because you have thought. All you have to do is meet yourself in that space and time where that already exists, right? Quantum jumping. And the thing is with Brother Rich, first of all, we just, you know what I'm saying, like coordinated him in this room. He described the gods. He's doing what he came here to do. That's why he's
Scribe of the
great at
God.
it. That's why he's great at it. He's following his life's journey, his mission, right? So this is how to answer the question. But I'm gonna take it even a step further, Brother Rich, because I heard that's the reason I even asked I even asked that question. I read that question, but someone asked the question on the Billy Carson show that you guys had, the last one. And they were asking that, can you meet yourself, right? That whether it's in a different body or whatever, here in this reality, like another version of you, can you meet that person here? I would say that when someone asks a question, why does he not interview, not speak like this more and be a speaker versus an interviewer? Beyond what I just said, how about everyone that he's interviewed are a reflection of him? What you think about that, Brother Rich? Hello.
Bingo! Bing motherfucking go, Lisa. Bing motherfucking go. Let me tell you,
That's what I
I'm
see.
glad you here. See, you tapped in. This is why I said, I don't have to live in the same state as you, Lisa, but I know you're tapped in. But just by how you maneuver on the internet, the way you maneuver on the internet says a lot about you because you could get easily trapped up in the internet. So the way you maneuver, I already know who you are in a certain way. Not saying I know everything, but to go more into your question, the speakers you hear on my channel, if you were to go on their channel and hear them speaking by themselves, it's good, but it's different from when you see them on Brother Rich channel. I bring a certain energy that makes them say certain. I'm a producer, so I'm not just a music producer, but I'm a media producer as well. Me being present brings something out of people, and vice versa. Anybody else being present, like Lisa being present right here, is bringing something out of me. You may hear somebody else interview Brother Rich, and it may be different. My spirit is in agreement to do an interview. By my spirit being in agreement to do an interview, I'm in agreement with that person's spirit. And I allow that spirit to bring certain things out of me. So I allow Lisa's spirit to bring certain things out of me. Now I may go to another spirit and say, "Hey, Brother Rich, I want to interview." Now I'm in agreement with that person. So that person's spirit, say if I become more argumentative, and you're like, "What the fuck? What happened?" My spirit was more in agreement with that person who has more of an argumentative spirit. Now, if I don't have an argumentative spirit, I would never agree to the interview. The fact that I agree with that interview lets you know that I'm in alignment with that person's spirit. This is why they say birds of a feather flock together. This is why they say that you attract who you are. So I attract who I am. Lisa has a certain spirit. She's resonating on a certain frequency. I agree to do the interview. Now I must resonate on her frequency because this is her platform that I agree to be on. This is how this shit works. This is why the interview is important. This is why I'm talking like this on her channel. I'm in agreement with her spirit and I'm saying certain things on her platform. And the more I talk, this is just some beautiful shit, the way this is designed. This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
This has been amazing. Like, whew. I can't even tell you like what I'm feeling and what I'm going through. And I'm really just trying to hold it all together, because it's
Mm,
quantum. It's definitely quantum. And
mhm,
it's, the waves are collapsing at the moment. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
things are just in alignment. But the thing about this, Brother Rich, is that is I already met you in the quantum realm long
mm,
time ago. You understand
mm,
what I'm saying?
mhm,
Just by being in alignment with and the frequency of what you were bringing to my life, by viewing what you were doing, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because it'd be like, damn, why like you be talking about the stuff that's in my head. You know what I mean? Like just it's insane, but that's how you know when you understand this. But guys, I'm telling you, you got to put in the work. If you just put in the work, you know what I'm saying, it's beautiful on the other side when you can, saying walk on one foot in one, in the matrix, one foot in the spiritual world, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can do both and travel down that middle pillar. I had to travel the left hand path. I had to do that. That was a part of my journey,
mm,
um, part of the hero's journey. But I didn't
mhm,
stay, you know what I'm saying, in the underworld. I had to, complete it and come back. You know what I mean? And I couldn't even have a bigger vision for myself than just following what you know what I'm saying. This wasn't even a plan. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? But it
mhm,
manifested, and this is look at this today. You know what I mean? And just so many other amazing things that are taking place because that's what I tell people. Like when you get into spirituality and magic and these different practices, it's not, what I asked for a lot. Yes, okay, you could do a ritual for this and a ritual for that, but I wanted knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know more. I wanted to know about myself. And so that know thyself. That's what I truly wanted to know, because I always used to be like, man, I wish I could stand outside of my body and review myself. And so when you were saying the mirror work, this is something that I teach in my consultations. You know, we go deeper into that with different techniques and stuff. And that mirror work is important. So, you know, Brother Rich said his mirror work is what he, when he amped that up, took it to the next level, he snapped. You know what I mean? So listen, I'm very grateful. You know what I'm saying? I'm filled with gratitude. You know, I got chills running down my spine. This has been an amazing show. I'm still kind of like, you know, in awe. I ain't gonna hold you.
You know, real quick, in terms of the
Hmm.
mirror work, like I said, that was just something I personally do. I don't recommend everybody to get into that. Like when I do the mirror magic, I cut off the lights and I light a candle. I was telling Blue Pill this other day, like it's lights off and I light a candle and it's me in the mirror. But some people may have unresolved trauma or unresolved issues where if they was to do that, they may see some things that are unwelcoming, and they may just say, "Oh, this is the work of the devil." It's not the work of the devil. It's just that the mirror it's a powerful tool, and it could serve for good. It's always good, but it could serve the truth that it tells you can be unwelcoming sometimes to certain individuals. So it depends on what level you on. I would say to engage in that because it can get scary if you're not on the right frequency. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but the people that come to me for consultation, depending on what's going on, we go into shadow work. So that they definitely got to, you know what I'm
Excellent.
saying? That mirror work is a
Excellent.
part of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
because you
Okay.
gotta, if you
Excellent.
you gotta face yourself, you know what I'm saying?
Excellent.
We're not getting around that. We're not skipping that
Excellent.
part. Like you can't even do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Excellent.
So woo,
That's some good shit. Shit. The
woo.
phone is a mirror. I mean,
Yes,
it's the
Mm-hmm.
looking glass. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad,
You
brother
got it,
Rich.
brother.
It's gonna reveal your demons to you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, be very careful with that. That's some good shit, brother Rich.
Yeah.
And I
Mm-hmm.
gotta say, it's a high vibrational conversation with you, man, because I usually don't speak. At least I have a lot of speakers in here, so I'm just honored to be in your vibration, brother.
Yeah.
Indeed. Like I said, y'all, gratitude, 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 y'all. Be thankful. You be surprised. Like I can't stress. Like I would hear people talk about gratitude, and um I I'd be like, okay, okay, be grateful, but it does wonders. Like in this realm, I'm telling y'all, gratitude, and like I said, the thing about it is, it's personal. So, and the thing about I can't. Can y'all still hear me? Because it sounds like completely quiet. Can y'all still hear me?
Hear you.
Okay, okay, okay. The one thing I want to say about magic before I get out of here, that the most important part that that I left out on somebody else, other people leave out, is that when we come to magic, what makes me a magician, what makes people a magician, is that not just the thought. Anybody could think a certain thing, but you have to have the feeling of the thought without uh the physical expression of it, without it being real in the physical world. So say I want to imagine being 180 pounds, but I'm really 260 pounds. I have to find a way to generate the feeling of being that weight. Whether it is people praising me, whether it is me walking down the street feeling proud, whether it is me running up the stairs without getting tired. You have to think of certain scenes, movie scenes in this movie we call life, that will generate that feeling of what you want to accomplish. Because feeling is the magnetism, it's the feminine principle. Thought is electrical, is the masculine principle. Because we live in a patriarchal society, we only have masculine thoughts. We don't have the feminine principle to back up the masculine thought. We have feminine principle when it comes to stupid shit like police killing. So we'll generate the divine feminine when it comes to when we see a police killing. We'll feel the trauma. We'll feel the rage. We'll feel then we'll generate that feeling expression. But we won't generate that feeling expression when it comes to our success. When it comes to what we want to manifest, we think it's out of bounds. It's out of our reach. What we have to do, what they do, is they understand the importance of the divine feminine, which is the feeling. So they'll put something on the TV. They magicians. You look at it, you get traumatized, you get emotional about it. Now you're pulling pulling more of that down from the collective grid, from the quantum field. And I'm gonna say this before I get out of here. And this is what I said on my show. And this is like reaching. This is far out there. And nobody said this but me. I haven't heard anybody say this but me. COVID, and I don't know how much we could talk about that because I know YouTube is crazy on that. But the whole pandemic, before the pandemic was all about the lungs and breathing. All 100%. Black people, the most magnetic people on the planet, the people who have the biggest electric field, the biggest hearts, the biggest, we got the strongest Wi-Fi connections. We spent the Obama administration saying, I can't breathe. It is no wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
It is no wonder something like the pandemic came down to this reality. The batteries of this planet spent years saying we can't breathe. So of course something's gonna happen. And this is what goes in what I said earlier. Something could be a conspiracy and could be divine at the same time. What was a conspiracy was also divine. We brought that shit down here. We had the whole world, the whole globe saying, I can't breathe. It was a mantra. It was the most evil mantra we felt, experienced, and said in our history of humanity. We never had a mantra that evil. That shit was evil, and we did not know it because we do not know who the fuck we are. We do not know the science, the energy. We don't know none of that shit. We are killing ourselves with what we are saying. We are killing ourselves with what we are listening to. We are killing ourselves with what we are eating. We are killing ourselves with who we are around. All this shit is information. All this is light. And you are a radio who's just an antenna who's just absorbing all this energy. And you have to discover who you are. And you have to be mindful who you are. And you have to be mindful of what you intake. But thankfully, this is just a movie. This is just an illusion. Fuck it. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It happened. We're moving on, and we know what we know now. And family, things are getting better and better and better. Things are looking up, more and up, more and up, more up, more up, more up. Family, is it's time. It's a beautiful time that we are in right now. It is our time. We are in the golden age, and I just want to thank all of you for listening. Anything I said tonight, take what resonates with you. Whatever doesn't, don't take it with you. This is all an illusion. This is all a game, family, and I wish you the best in this game. And regardless, I will see you on the other side where I'm already there, you're already there. We're multidimensional. We exist in different times at the same time. But family, it's all love.
Thank you so much, Brother Rich. You are an amazing person. And I just want to also show my gratitude towards you. Like, thank you for being the standard bearer, right, of what it is that you do, and doing it with the highest level of integrity, and always showing us and that, I'm saying, your heart is lighter than a feather, for waking so many people up, for doing what it is that you do. It was definitely an honor to have you here with us in the Matrix Unveiled tonight. And we love you, brother. We love you. Okay. And I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. See y'all next time. Peace.
Okay. Peace.